we are lacking as as women in the workspace, in so many spaces. I think there's a lot of, we compete against each other. Yes, we want to change the narrative. Yes, we want to fight against GBV. Yes, we want to make a difference in the society, but it needs to start with us. You can't fight a man if you're still fighting against each other. So there's so much power in collaboration. That is one thing we need to learn from the women that came before us, the women that, set the bar to the limit. They did everything possible to secure a brighter future for us. So it's so key. It's so important that we collaborate as women. And so all the challenges I've been facing in the workspace have really brought me to a place where I think I'm ready to actually write a book about leadership. Yes, it's been 2 years, but I've been in the corporate space for a couple of years. I'm 32. I've been working for over 9 years. I don't have children. I'm just, living my best life. And I think this is the right time for me to share keys, steps on how to really handle, emotions in the workplace. All these simple things that we take lightly, they're so important for us to do better and be better people, to support the young girls that are yet to come in the workspace, because it's a lot. I mean, you get in a workspace, you get a leadership position, and you realize, damn, I'm still dealing with the things that I went through as a young girl. I'm still dealing with the things that my mom or my dad put me through. And it's only now that they're coming up because you put in a platform where now you're under pressure. Now you need to react in a certain way, but you haven't dealt with the things that you went through as a child. So those are the things that I've been really reflecting on. It's amazing to connect with all of you. I love you so much. Thank you.
Thank you, sweetheart. Thank you, Nelfi. It is true that we are dealing with so much. We carry so much, and we also have to be dealing with our lives, right? And unfortunately, you can't separate yourself from that. Is your life, So you take the baggage and you deal with it, and you look forward to the now and the future. I must say that thank you, Nelfi. Guys, I'm horrendous with admin, and why I insist on doing things myself all the time is still beyond me, guys. I must tell you that I had meant to stream this live when we started to YouTube, and I forgot. I'm sorry. I am so sorry, but I've just started streaming it live, and I am 100% happy to stay an extra hour. I will also upload this on YouTube, so the people that are watching on the channel, apologies. I didn't even have Banele ping me and remind me to stream it live to YouTube, because I'm sure he's living his best life. So Banele helps me with Vastly Sage social media stuff. So okay, and then he did ask me though, because this is what's important to Banele. He asked me that you ladies can post your looks and post whatever content you've created or taken, and please use the hashtag Women's Day with Amanda and tag Vastly Sage so that we can interact with you even offline. Yeah, so that's one of the things that I do. I don't want to call it a struggle, but I am a person that is so used to doing things by herself. I've always had to work hard and do things myself. So the first place I always go to is myself before I look to other people to do things for me. As a result, I'm always like, oh man, maybe I shouldn't have been doing this to begin with. but I love to laugh at myself. I love to actually, and you said it, Nelfi, that we're constantly dealing with things that you may have struggled with in your past with your parents and etc. I grew a work ethic from childhood that says I only rely on myself. Only I have full control of my destiny. And in fact, it shows up in everything I do. For some people, I'm too strong, I'm too independent. That's why I married my boo, guys. My dude was like, yo, when I'm so independent, I want you, because I don't want admin. He was like, you're the one I'm after. I'm not threatened by anything that you are. In fact, He even said to me, you remind me of my mother. My mother-in-law is 82 this year, lives by herself, fully independent. And so you know, I am that person. And yes, sometimes then I forget things like click live stream to YouTube, but it's okay. We'll make up for it. I also don't have a PA. I recently started working with my sister-in-law, Catherine Dambuza. She's the business manager. Catherine is not my PA, but Catherine helps me when I'm just like, okay, I actually think I now really can't do this myself anymore. Please help me. And then she'll pick up and do some of my work. When I say work, like she'll help me manage my life a bit better, my work life a bit better, and even personal life. I'm so blessed to have her. She's a little sister to me. So she's that person that, you know, things that I am not used to, where you can call a family member to help you with something. So, you know, it's we get blessed, and I think we've got support all around us if we just look, you know. And one of my best friends, Lillian, is literally fighting for her life as we speak, and I feel it's important to mention her. She's also one of those people in my life who literally, you know, I don't remember a time when I needed her and she wasn't there. And I also don't remember a time when, you know, I didn't even need her, but she was there. And these are the women in our lives who make our lives better, who help to take some of the pressure off of us. And you know, we will continue to, you know, as our hearts ache, as, you know, as we give glory to God, because even it can be any of us, you know, we've lost loved ones. Some of us have been sick, you know, so we just have to be continuously grateful. But fight those things that we carry inside of us. And I cannot promise that I'm not going to keep doing things myself. But, you know, I can promise that when I need support, I've got support. And this is very important. I think before we go to Nelfi and Bafunani, can you drop your hands, please? Thank you. So before we go to Lelo, do you think we should take a music break, or go with Lelo and then music break? You can unmute yourselves and speak all at the same time. I'll hear you, I promise.
We can go with Lelo.
I've never had my name shouted so loud by so many powerful women. Amazing ladies. I've never had my name shouted so much by so many powerful women. Firstly, I just want to say thank you, Sis Amanda, for this platform. We are to have connections with so many women in different parts of the world. So happy Women's Day, ladies. So for me, I think takeaways, really, it's perfect imperfection. To power as women. Yes, we keep full role to play.
We keep losing you.
And I'll phone in again. I'll just plug in again. We can take a break.
We can hear you now. We can hear you.
For me, takeaways are perfect imperfections. That's been because we tend to also give so much of our power away. Yeah. We can't be able
completely, my love. Okay, Lelo, maybe just dial back in, okay, my love. We've lost you completely. It sounds like you were gonna say some amazing things. So
yes.
So come back, please.
Right.
All right. I think whilst we give Lelo a breather, let's play that song now. So I think we should go to what is now one of my new favorites. No, but let's switch it around and do Shekinah. You got Shekinah there? Yeah, you good? Shall we get going with it? Okay, one moment. Hey, nice one, ladies. Nice one. I love it. Show of hands for all those people who dance when they're at home and dance like no one is watching.
Yep. I feel it's pretty evident who those culprits are right now.
Yeah, we are. It's our life.
I absolutely love it because we absolutely have to do what it takes to release all of the tension, you know? And I think a lot, are you sweating?
It's getting real with the drink as well.
But it's so important that we find some outlet, whatever that outlet is, and not be ashamed of it. You know, it's not always for public consumption. I post my dances because, well, not all of them because I'm always dancing, but I post them because I want to
Always, yes.
strip down this notion that because you're a mother, you're a wife, you're a business person, you are this, therefore you don't do, you shouldn't do, you know. So, hey, back. I was so hot. Oh, sorry, guys. All right, I'm back. My husband just walked in and he's looking like a...
Oh, you're sweating as well.
Sweating. Looking like a
Wow.
woman's face neck. Thank you so much. But yeah, the point is that, you know, we must find some way of just an outlet because things can get, there can be a lot. So let's go to Akona. Hi, Akona.
Hi, Amanda.
How are you?
How good are you?
Really good, really good.
Wow, thank you for this platform. Yeah, and your dances really, they do help. On Friday, I had quite such a slow day, and just watching you get it on, it kind of got me into mood, eh? And it shows how connection, even in the virtual space, can be. So thank you. Hi, ladies. Yeah, thanks, Amanda, for all that you do. It's been a year now that I've been following you. And yeah, I mean, from buying the book, reading your story, yeah, it's a profound thing to share our journeys and our experiences with other people, because it might mean something to someone. We don't have to be in the physical space to really share and learn from each other. So thank you. Thank you for this. Hi, ladies. I am joining from cold and chilly Port Elizabeth, aka Kabeja. That's now what we...
Yes.
That's it. So I thought for just maybe party almost to part of, I gave a talk last week to a group of corporate ladies. And I thought maybe the ladies in this group might also sort of be enriched by that. Just a small, in terms of what I shared with them. So I talked about the scarf. Now, it was a very serious topic because if we know a little bit of neuroscience, there's a scarf model that was coined by a guy called David Rock, right? So the scarf talks to the neuroscience aspect of our brain, especially when it comes to social traits and social rewards, and how our brain can impact us. Because of course, if it's a trait, it's that, you know, freeze or flight or fight approach. But when we use our ability and control our own brain, we are able to go more toward the reward state. Now, if you look, for example, at what's been happening 2 years later, we're still struggling with COVID and its impact to our life. So from a threat space, there's been so many threats for us, especially as women. A lot of women have lost their jobs. We know in South Africa, 56.2% of the workforce is women. So with all the restructuring, with all the job cuts, it's been women. We have gender-based violence. We have inequality. We've got the gender inequality in terms of the pay gap. So there's a lot on the threat side that we are faced with. However, it requires for us to really concentrate and manage ourselves by focusing on more the reward side of it. Going there, firstly, self-compassion is a great thing. We give compassion to other people, but rarely do we give it to ourselves. Yes, we talk about self-care, but sometimes when we talk about self-care, it's almost from the outer space, whereas self-compassion comes from, giving myself a hug, like I would reach out to someone else. Looking at our mindset, right? I had a lady talking about the impact our childhood and our inner child has got on us. Our mindset, looking at that. So I use that analogy of this model, which is the SCARF model. S stands for status, C stands for certainty, A talks for autonomy, R stands for relatedness, and F stands for fairness. Now, if you look at what's been happening with COVID specifically, but generally in life, our SCARF has been threatened. And we need to then look, for example, for me, what's been triggered for me in terms of my SCARF has been the certainty. I'm always one person who wants to have some sort of certainty. And it's one thing I didn't have during this period. And it frustrated me a lot up until I realized I need to move. I need to regulate my brain to move from that limbic reacting space. I need to part of my brain where I drive myself towards situation. And I mean, one of those things has been following you, Amanda, looking at your clips, looking at your dancing videos, and it puts me in a good mood. So the SCARF, although it's a serious topic like that, I related it to a scarf. We ladies know how our scarves can make us look good. Now I'm talking about the square, triangle cloth, whether it's silk, whether it's wool, that I'll use to keep myself warm or to make myself look attractive, or that outfit to look attractive, or just to shelter me from the draft, from the cold. So the analogy that I used was to really look at our scarves and really, when it's needed, and it's really quite needed, to use our scarves to shelter ourselves, whether we're going to use it to brighten that outfit or put it on as a dook. But look at that meaning from the simplistic meaning of a scarf, but then look at it deeper by looking at the SCARF model as a neuroscience and leadership approach, and utilize it to really help ourselves to balance, to cope, to carry on, and to feel empowered, especially more so even today, but going forward. So that was just a little bit that I wanted to share with the ladies today that I gave as a talk for another corporate group. And I hope, obviously this is something that you look into, research it, and determine for yourselves. Sometimes our circumstances are different. What works for you doesn't work for me. And sometimes as ladies, we want to emulate other people and lose the authenticity. So for me, it's about looking at your circumstances and use it in the way that best works for you. Yes, have a wonderful day further and the rest of the year. Thank you.
Thank you, Akoina. Thank you so much. We really appreciate that. I also took that down. And I think what I'm also taking from you, it is so true about self-compassion, because, when you talk about self-care, people think, oh, it's just, let me do my nails, let me scrub the dirt under my nails, let me do my hair. It can be so superficial and so outward. And it's perfectly fine if that is what you want, but what we'll probably wish for more is that you go deeper, and that you go deep inside of who you are and start to learn about yourself, and therefore embrace yourself. So Lelo is back. Let me quickly take Lelo first before Lebogang and Nonbabalone. Lelo?
Amazing. Thank you very much. Is the sound better now?
Yes, much better. And you were at imperfections.
Yes. So this for me, it means that we've got powerful roles to play as ladies. So we're not designed to be perfect.
Yeah.
However, we tend to give our power away. So I'm just going to ask the ladies not to outsource your power. It's yours to take. It's yours to control. So be aware of this and take control.
Yeah.
And of course, what is important is also, because I've had most of the ladies highlighting that the circles that they are around also impacts your life. So be aware of the people that you keep around you, because we tend to run a risk of giving this power away. As a result, we give the power to the circles or the people that are in the circles that we walk across. So take that power back, because you're in that circle to play a role. You're not there to be a spectator. You're there to play a role. So feed off on the people that are around you, because they're designed to be to support you in this way. But if they're not providing the support that you require, then they shouldn't be part of your circle. And of course, be in control of your destiny. I like that statement that you made earlier on, because that just means that we have to face our lives head on. Whether it comes with pain, face that pain head on, because you're going to take away power from that pain. When it comes with good things, you're going to take power from those good things. So just be in control of your life and be in control of your circumstances and be your true self. And that's it.
Absolutely. I love it. Thank you, Lelo. Thank you so much. And I mean, listen, I don't even have anything to add. It's so cool. Lebohang, shall we go to you? We can't hear you. All right, Nolbabalo will come to you now because Lebohang is not there.
Ladies, I am so grateful to be a part of this platform. I don't have much to say, but I just wanted to say that I've taken so much from each and every lady who has shared something today, and I've realized that we all go through so much. Sometimes you go through stuff and you think it's just you. And now I realize that we are all going through so much and we're handling things differently. So going forward, I'm actually realizing that I'm going to stop being the strong one. I am just going to go out there and do me and try to live the best life that I can, and just take control of my life. So thank you so much, Amanda, for this platform. Thank you, ladies, for sharing. I mean, I'm sure we've all learned from each and every person's experience. So thank you and happy Women's Day.
Thank you, Nolbabalo. Thank you so much. Thank you. We appreciate that. Lebohang, are you back? Lelo and Nolbabalo, please drop your hands. Okay, I'll go to iPhone. I don't know who iPhone is.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes. My name is Jolina to start with. Thank you so much, Amanda. And it's really a blessing to be able to speak on this platform. Oh. I've been following you for some time, and I'm really inspired by the woman you are.
Thank you.
And what I would like to say today on a Women's Day, I'm very proud of South African women. I'm actually from the DRC. I've been here for more than 10 years. Right. Sometimes you don't realize how much you have done for women, because you're in a society that has fought so much for women's rights and women being able to reach certain things and achieve certain things. You might think this is the reality of every woman in Africa. But I can tell you and I can assure you, South Africa has gone a long way on women's rights, on women's being able to express themselves, on women being able to showcase themselves, on women being able to reach every level of society. And for me, it's really like I'm becoming like a spokesperson of my own people to show them that, you know what, the way we do things, it's not only the only way, because somewhere else things are done in a different way. Women have fought so much to be able to like for instance, being able to buy a land and build a house and still feel like, okay, I'm a woman, I can be married to a man, but being able to do things and being acknowledged for it. I don't need to be always behind a man. When I do something, it has to be acknowledged as my doing, not as me, as a wife of somebody, you see.
Yeah.
But I'm saying that, okay, thank you so much, South Africa, because you are equipping a lot of women. And I think the narrative of Africa is to change. And I think, Amanda, we're chatting sometimes. I know you're chatting with a lot of people, but if you go back to your Instagram, you'll see that we chat a lot. The narrative of women has to change in Africa. Women has to come more together. They have to love each other. They have to compete with each other, but they have to build each other.
Yes,
That's,
absolutely.
yeah. Thank you so much.
Oh,
Thank
man.
you so much for,
Selena, we really
for allowing me to say that. Thank you.
Thank you so much. We really appreciate that, Jolina. I think it's it actually is such a it's so heartfelt when women from other societies actually tell us and give us the feedback, because you know the one thing about South Africa is we are constantly fighting. It's an endless fight every day. Every day it's a struggle for something, you know. So we are so used to being, we are quite militant in a way, but it is so beautiful when we get the feedback of what our hard yards do for other women, and I think we do take for granted sometimes, because we are so, South Africa is incredibly insulated. We are at the bottom of Africa. Literally everything is like we in this bubble that we don't always stick our head up and see. Yeah, absolutely. See what other women around the continent are suffering or having to deal with. If we do, it's occasional, because we are so inward looking, because we've got so many problems here and we're trying to fight those. So it's wonderful to hear what we do represent to others. And pretty much like, you know, some of us who are quite aware of some of the hard work that women are doing across the continent and across the globe. So we really appreciate that. Thank you so much, Jelena. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Hello. And let me ask you to unmute, my love.
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes. Hello.
Yes, thank you. Thank you. Happy Women's Day, ladies. From me, Amanda, it was just to say, I really appreciate you. I appreciate these platforms. I mean, my husband was saying the other day, you know, as women, we are very privileged that we have such platforms, because with men, it's really very few of such platforms that they have. They don't get such opportunities to engage with other women. I mean, every Sunday, I wait and for you to cook and look forward to that. I mean,
sometimes I'm like, I'm not cooking. I don't feel like talking.
Yes, I know.
I don't feel like talking.
So the other day did oxtail and I had to go back to the video and check, okay, what did she put, you know? And I did that for my family. So we really, really appreciate you, Amanda. And I mean, for me, one thing that I reflected on today is not to shy away from raising up your hand. You know, I know today it's an opportunity really for me to be here, because when you posted this, it was late when I saw it. I just saw when it was like full, right? And then I sent a message this morning to say, please don't forget to share the live on a stream on YouTube. And for the fact that you forgot to do that, I'm grateful, because I sent to Vasley Sage as well. And they then send me in response the link to join this, you know. So, I mean, for the fact that you forgot, because if you didn't forget, then I would have just watched on the YouTube live stream. But because you forgot, it gave me an opportunity to be here, you know. And while I was waiting, I was praising, you know, I was worshiping and singing, praising the Lord, and the message came through, and I was so excited. I quickly logged on and join this. So really, Amanda, I'm looking forward to one day meeting you in person. I would really love to meet you in person one day. So thank you and happy Women's Day to everyone.
Thank you so much. Thank you. I really
Thank you.
appreciate that. You see, faith moves things, eh? I love it. Thank you so much, Mutle. I really appreciate that. And I must
Thank
say
you.
that, thank you so much. And to all those people who are watching live on YouTube now, thank you so much. I promise I promise to upload this entire recording. I hope it will allow me. So we are due to end at 1 o'clock, but I'm happy to extend, and then I'll do my closing remarks if you are happy. Lerato 113, just raise your hand electronically, my love. I can see you're waving.
Able to. It's
So
not
let
giving
me
me
allow Jolina, you can drop your hand. Let me allow Marian to say something, and then Lerato 113, I'll come to you, okay?
Thank
Yes?
you.
All right, my love. Marian?
Hello, everyone. My name is Marian B. Chepkemoi. Yes, I come from East Africa, specifically Kenya. I am 20 years old. I'm very, very happy and delighted to be part of you all. I knew Amanda from Mpumi Ledwaba. I follow Mpumi on Instagram, and I also watch her. I watch her YouTube. I got to know you, Amanda, through the podcast that you were on her podcast. Yes, and I was really blessed by your contribution that day. And then I also followed you on Instagram. I also got to know about today's meeting on Pumi's story on Instagram. So I'm really, really delighted to be part of you all. I have really, really been enriched. Thank you so, so much. I also think that whatever you guys are facing I think it cuts across all ages, because I remember Bafunani talking about friends, some of our friends leaving your life at some point. I think I'm struggling with that at the moment. My best friend and I are distant, and I can't understand why, but I think it's something natural. I think as we all grow, we change, and maybe we adopt different priorities, and at times the drift just comes about naturally. Yeah. And also in law school, I'm in third year. I'm joining third year next semester. Yes. And I'd like to begin a business. I want to begin a business about business. So maybe even as you make your closing remarks, Amanda, maybe you can advise me on how to start up well, what I should do and what I shouldn't do. And happy Women's Day to you all. We don't celebrate, today is not Women's Day in Kenya. Yeah. But I'd like to wish you all a happy Women's Day. And please do pass my regards to Mpumi, Amanda, when you talk to her. Thank you so much.
I will do. Absolutely will do. She would have joined us, but she's out of town and doing a speaking engagement as we speak. So I will do that. Absolutely. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you.
And what you are experiencing are just growing pains, honestly. And you will see that you gain even better friendships the older you get and the more you experience your life. So the sadness of life is that sometimes we do have to let go of some people, and the let go is either we feel we need to let go of them or they let go of us, and we can't keep hanging on to them. So you'll definitely be okay. And the question around starting a business or starting up, it's actually such a it's a very broad subject that I wouldn't do any justice to on this platform. But I think I did do I tackled it on one of the mentorship sessions on Vastly Sage YouTube. But the one thing I can say as women, which is outside of the technicalities of starting up, the one thing I can 100% say is you want to start right from the beginning, because it is hard to change some of the things that are fundamental in any business or in any startup. So let me give you an example. You want to get the basics, like your logo right, like what you stand for right, because those are some of the things, the stationery for your business. As basic as those things are, but that is what introduces your business to the world. And in fact, what you want to do is also be able to not try and build whatever business you are getting into. understand why you're getting into it, because this is fundamental to sustaining you throughout the hard times and enabling you to observe and celebrate the great times. So it's always about why are you getting into that business? And I might be coming from a very different school of thought, but I'm not a person that believes you must get into business just to make money. Because first of all, you get into business and money doesn't come immediately. And a lot of people can get very desperate and start going after the wrong kind of business. So when you start to understand why you are starting a business, what problem are you trying to solve, then you start to craft your thoughts and your actions along that path. And you know, I was having this conversation with my husband this morning. And okay, let me give you a little TMI. Okay, we took a shower together today. It's been a long time. So he was about to take a shower and I walked in and I said, you know, when we were dating, we used to shower together. My husband and I only dated for like 7 months, guys, and we were married within the year. That by that very next year we were married. So every time I say when we were dating, I make it sound like it was 4 years of dating. Like it wasn't that long. Like, you know, when we used to date, we would take a shower together, just chat. And he's like, yo, we used to, I'm like, and he said to me, this is why, baby, I designed such a big shower so that we can shower together. I'm like, okay, there's my chance. I walked in there and we just had this conversation and we were chatting about, you know, business and struggles and some of the things that we are encountering in business. And the one thing you never want to be in any kind of business is desperate. You never want to be in a position of desperation because people will take advantage of you. And two, you will compromise your personal values. And you know, the conversation was along the lines of how proud we are of the decisions that we continuously make in our respective businesses, because I mean, my husband is a successful businessman in his own right, and we encounter different challenges. And the point is that whatever the reason was when you started, whatever your personal values are, that is what you must translate into business, and know that it's not business at all costs. So when people are just into business for money, they'll end up compromising themselves because they just want the money. So if it is to solve a real problem, and I find that purpose-led businesses that are driven by purpose, driven by making a change in society or changing people's lives or making people's lives slightly easier in some shape or form, those have got legs, they've got longevity, they last longer. So I don't know what your reasons are, but that's what I can offer. But please do watch some of the things that I've posted on Varsity Sage, and ask your friends to subscribe. It's free and you can watch it whenever you want. But also, you know, the other thing is that, and forgive me, I'm just gonna, let me just do this quickly. I'm just gonna put my earphones because my crew is now jumping on the trampoline and that's gonna be chaos. So you know, it's really about what are you after and what are you trying to build? And maybe let me close this by saying, right from the onset, be clear about, are you just wanting to get into business to create a job for yourself, or are you wanting to build a business and build a big business? Because that's so important. How you go about it from the start is very different. So some people leave their jobs or leave their corporate jobs because they want to own their time, they want to, you know, get away from the politics, and soon realize that all they wanted to do was to create a job for themselves. But then the job for themselves came with admin, it came with marketing, it came with getting the business, it came with, oh, I'm the delivery person, but I'm also expected to do proposals, but I'm also expected. So all of the things that in your job you think, you know, and let me rephrase, when people move on from their jobs, and I mean, you're still studying, so I think you've got a great opportunity to not repeat these kinds of things. But when people leave their jobs, their corporate jobs, to start businesses, they don't really think thoroughly about, are they leaving to start a business and build a big business or build a business, or are they just going to create a job for themselves? Because the two you know, are completely different, and how you go about it from the onset is completely different. So I wish you all the best.
Thank you, Amanda. Thank you.
It's my pleasure. All right, so I think, I mean, it would be ridiculous of me not to say a couple of words before we close off our session. But really, from the deepest point in my heart, I just want to thank you. I mean, as I said, one of my best friends is very ill, and it would have been easy for me to say I can't do this session because I just can't. But the truth is that I know exactly what she would say to me. It's almost like she's in my ear all the time. I know that the one thing she would tell me is, babe, you gotta keep going. And she's one of those people who always reminded me that there is nothing on this earth that should stop what God has put on your path. So you know, I want to lift her up in prayer. And you know, as I did with my husband when he was gravely ill, for me, I can pray, I can wish the best. God's will is God's will, and none of us can stand in the way. You know, I often think about the difference between those who have survived, those who haven't lost their loved ones even though they were ill, and those who have lost their loved ones. It's not because your prayer was stronger than other people's prayer. God hears all our prayers the same. It's just that when people's jobs are done on this earth, their jobs are done, and none of us can stand in the way. So as much as our hearts ache and we keep losing loved ones, our loved ones are going to lose us. It's so important that we live in the moment and remember, you know, the good things and the memories that our loved ones have equipped us with. Because when it's all said and done, that is what we hang on to. And you know, as women, for me, it's a, you know, I remember I spoke at the World Economic Forum in Cape Town. Well, it seems like a million years ago now, but I think that was 2019. And you know, I was speaking on behalf of MasterCard, and one of the topics was really around, you know, women and the emancipation of women and what that will come with, what that means across Africa. And we cannot see any emancipation of women if women continue to be financially dependent on their significant others. So as women, whether you are a mother or you're an aunt, or you play a mother figure to somebody somehow in some shape or form, be it today or in the future, the point is that we have got to be enabling and equipping the next generation of women to not be dependent on anyone. And Pindi said it earlier, you know, there are so many reasons why women stay in abusive relationships, and it does not help the situation that you are dependent on somebody financially. So if there's one thing I really fight for in my life, is that we have a significant chunk of the next generation of young women not dependent on anybody for anything, and to seek the necessary support and companionship on their own terms, not because they've been told this is what it should be because you're a woman. Because then I believe that the work that the 20,000 women of 1956 did in South Africa would go down to waste if we as this generation do not pass on what is the right message for the next generation. And every single generation has its fight. I really truly believe that our generation is about economic emancipation of women. And we fight that not just in how we enable the next generation, but in what we also leave behind for our children, because it is everything. It is everything. So as I close, I just want to thank you so much for spending your time with me. I mean, I know you could have done other more exciting things. I don't know what that is, but I mean, but I really appreciate it. I want to honor you, and I will make my closing remarks now on top of what I've just said. So if you're okay, stick around. I want to share a few things. I do think that as women, we must carve out and decide what is our role in society. And it is not something that we can leave to chance or leave to others. It is something that we have to decide for ourselves. And it is quite a personal thing. It is not a collective thing. It is not a by vote, by consensus. It is between you and your God, whatever you believe your God is. It is, what is your role? Why do you believe you were brought on this earth and brought as a woman? Because I mean, we can't talk for other people. We can only talk for ourselves. Is what is it that you strongly believe that God brought you here for? And as women, we have got to keep being driven from a place of purpose. And let me please offer that if you haven't figured out your purpose, it doesn't mean you are less of a human being. It doesn't mean you are not woke. It doesn't mean you are not trending. It doesn't mean anything except that you just still need to listen to that voice inside of you. It still means you need to be rising above the noise that you face every day. It simply means that you need to find some quiet space where you can start to listen to your thoughts. Find out who you are, where you've come from, and how those things show up in your everyday life. Because ultimately, if you don't have that, you will not be able to find your purpose. There is no room for purpose if you haven't found yourself. So at the top of the purpose list should be you. Should be you. You are the purpose. Purpose number one is you. Because there's nothing else around you that will unfold if you have not unfolded, if you have not evolved and got a better understanding of who you are. So we might be facing a lot of adversity. We might be, and our levels of adversity are different. It's multiple different things for multiple different people. But adversity is adversity nonetheless. It means it is there to test you. But strength and character is not built when we are busy chilling by the beach, sipping on some good adult stuff, which Marian shouldn't. So it's built on those hard times. It's built on experiencing the hard times. It's built on coming out on the other side of the hard time and saying, whoa, gee whiz, what was that? But I'm still here, right? And I think so many of us have attested to that today, to say, we go through so much, but the one thing we always fall short of as women is celebrating ourselves every single day. And somebody already said it. It can't just be in August. I think it was Alvina, somebody. It can't just be in August. It has got to be every single day of our lives, because we get to take the pressure, we get to mediate, we get to be the go-between, we get to take the punches for so many people, for so many causes, for so many things. We get to use our voice. And I just want you to know today that your voice matters. It doesn't matter whether you've got a title or you don't have a title, or you think you have social standing or you don't have social standing. It doesn't matter how many likes you think you'll get using your voice. Use your voice, because your voice matters. And if you start quietening your voice, unfortunately, what you are doing is also showing the ones coming behind you that they must remain silent. And we cannot do that. But let's also be very strategic about the fights that we take, the fights that we pick, because whatever we do, we should be using our energy to enable the best success. So we must pick up the things and the fights and the battles that we know we stand a really good chance of succeeding in. And I'm not talking about dismantling patriarchy. The only way you can dismantle patriarchy is to do it at home. How you are raising your children, how you are talking to your nieces and your nephews, how your children, somebody asked me today how your children perceive you. Somebody asked me today on one of my story, on one of my posts, they asked me who takes my videos. My children take my videos when I'm dancing. Okay, sometimes I do it myself because I got a selfie stick. Okay, I've learned a few things. So the selfie stick it's like a tripod thing. You can balance it, and then you can trim. Hey, I've learned. So but the reason why I have my children take my videos is because my children have front row seats to who their mother is. There is no filter. There's no one in between. They know that mother kills it in the boardroom. Mother is a great mom. Mother is here when I need her, but mother also has a great time. She enjoys herself. She enjoys her life. She enjoys who she is. And I think that there's no better example that we can set for the ones coming behind us than to live our truth. But if we constantly want to water down our truth so that we make others feel comfortable, then it's a problem. And I think it was Bafunani who said, not Bafunani, Pindi, who said, the women that she trusted were the ones that are going to support her, are the ones that exposed her. The truth is that we cannot expect the world to change around us if we do not change ourselves, if we ourselves do not stand up and say, I'm going to be your champion as another sister, that I'm going to champion your cause even when I don't know the facts. The fact that you are a woman and you have told me you need my support, I'm going to do that. But again, let's give it to, let's support those in our ecosystems, because that's where it starts. It's pointless being everything to everyone and never to ourselves and those closest to us. It's pointless being celebrated out there and never actually having our own children celebrate us, because then I think we may have missed the mark. But whatever your mark is, please find it, because that's what matters in life. Because that is what you then keep your eye on. You keep your eye on what your mark is. And I must say that, you belong at the table that you're at. You belong there. So many people fought for you to be at the table. Whatever your table is, so many people gave up their lives, they courageously got out of their comfort zones and said, I'm going to fight for the next generation, because this is not fair, it is not just. So you cannot give up your seat so easily. Do not give up your seat so easily. Do not give up your power so easily. Even when it looks like it's the easiest thing to do, seek the support of other women and say, I am struggling with this. What can you help me with? Don't all run to Amanda, please. Like, let me just add it in there. I sometimes may or may not respond. I do my best to respond to every single message. But what I'm saying is, let's spread the support. The more of us support each other, the more we feel like we are part of the collective. So it's so important to not forget that you've got a wide network of women that will support you. And I'm not a person that slates or speaks badly about men. Guys, we're all brought up in the same society, okay? If there's anything we have a complaint about society, it is all of our doing. It is all of our doing. There isn't one that did it and the other received. So we have got to be so conscious about how we come across to our own children who are boys, our own significant others who are boys, and whatever whatever your circumstances at home, it is about choosing how you fight the battle. And my only wish in life is that we don't leave anyone behind. And I've got the great gift of raising both boys and girls, and I always look at them, and there's no way that my boys are going to get left behind. There's no way that my girls are going to get left behind, because I have to make sure that when I'm gone, whatever adults I would like to see roaming the streets, they become that, or at least I've enabled that, even if it's just in their thought process. So find your voice, it matters. You belong at that seat, and don't give up your seat so easily, because unfortunately, you can never guarantee that you'll get the next seat. However, hang on to the one you have. If you feel like it's a seat you want to give up for whatever reason, I hope it is not because you're giving it up because you're a woman and it's too hard. I hope that you know that there's a collective of women who are going to consistently support you, and find the champions who are men who will support your cause too, because sometimes you gotta maneuver the system through the very people that you're trying to get on the other side, right? So you gotta be strategic, and that is something that women have in abundance, but we like to keep it hidden, and we use it for for minuscule things and petty nonsense, to be honest. So let's use it for the things that really matter, like changing the landscape, because that's really where we need it the most. And I want to say that, you must not stereotype yourself. You shouldn't really be thinking, I'm a woman, therefore, because already you've stereotyped yourself. You've already told yourself that things are not going to work well for you because you're a woman and you're a Black woman and you are this and you are this. That level of thinking does not get you to a successful place, whatever your success is. So it's about thinking that, first of all, I've got this seat and I deserve it, whether I have a title or I don't, whether I come from a big name or I don't. My voice matters. And it matters because God put me on this earth and God gave me a voice. And therefore, no other human being should decide that my voice is not enough. And I hope that we never let go of that. Things do get hard, but catch your breath if you need to. Catch your breath. Take some time out. It's okay. If there's one thing that is okay, it is that. It is this thing where when you feel like the walls are closing in, it's okay to say, I need to get out of these walls because I feel like they're closing in. It is okay to not be perfect. Even if the first women that are judging you, the first people judging you in your circle are your very fellow sisters, aunts and mothers. It is okay to actually go against them and say, it's fine. I actually don't need your opinion. And she said it, who was it? Who said, Lulam, who said, we keep wanting people's opinions and we keep consulting on everything that we do. Remember, that is how our mothers were brought up and they have transferred that to many of us, but we know that doesn't work for us. We know that that's not serving us. That will not serve our children, that you constantly have to be seeking permission to just be yourself. So trust your voice inside. I really believe that that is God talking to us. And it's not a religion thing. It's just a faith thing. It's just a spiritual thing. It is you and your God having this conversation around what is right for you and what is not. So if you're constantly doubting what should be the only truth in your life, then you probably have a real challenge. So whilst I say we must catch our breath and we must be vulnerable, we must be all these things, please let's also understand that feeling sorry for ourselves is not going to solve anything. So we gotta feel what we need to feel, but pity on ourselves is something that's not going to move us forward at all. So let's leave the feeling sorry for myself. Oh, I was born a girl, so the world is against me. Everything is against me. I can never get anything right. Look how many other things you've been getting right and you've never even stopped to tell yourself that, girl, oh, you got this, you keep going, because it's easier to keep self-criticizing, to keep demeaning yourself, because that's what you've been told women should be. Women cannot be ambitious. Women should not be out there trying to build careers and businesses. Women should be a stupid home cooking. Hey, I'm behind the stove because I choose to, because I love it. That's it. Nobody tells me I must cook. Nobody tells me I must wear a skirt. Nobody tells me I must cross my legs. When I wear my hot pants, I'll show those buttocks and I will dance. Okay, so if somebody has a problem with it, they can keep moving. Keep it moving. I don't need your opinion because you did not birth me here. Not even the person that gave birth to me. I don't even take their opinion into account unless it suits me, unless it is what I need to deal with. So ultimately, we keep worrying so much about our people's opinion on us, of us. I mean, I even had some creature of a human being text me and saying, slide into my DMs. Sorry, let me use the right language. They slid into my DMs and said to me, with you dancing, you're trying a bit too hard. There's no dignity in what you're doing as a woman and a mother. First of all, I gave it to them, as you can imagine, before I blocked them. And I was just like, actually, this is exactly what happens. Some men think they've got rights over your body, even when they don't even know you, right? They think they've got rights over who you are, even when they don't know you, Now, I really feel sorry for the people that have to deal with those people every single day. But ultimately, it doesn't matter what your situation is. You just need to pick what your fights are. Never, ever, ever shrink yourself because you're a woman. Never, ever. And I am all about fighting norms. I'm all about fighting these everyday narratives that we are brought up with, because ultimately they're not serving us. But remember, every generation has their script. Every generation has their narrative. It is up to us to decide what it is about our generation that we're going to pass on to the next, that we can look back and say, I am really proud I did that. And I doubt it's going to be telling girl children to sit down and not voice out their opinions. I doubt it's going to be telling them how to dress. I doubt it's going to be telling them whether they should dance or not. I doubt it's going to be any of those. I also had one girl who sent me a text and said to me, you know, Amanda, you're such a dignified woman. For you to say things like "tzek" on Instagram, why would you swear? Because that's so unlike, you know, the lady that you are. I was like, first of all, why are you so stuck up? Who raised you? I was like, listen, I don't clap, hey? I don't clap back. I clap back hard. I throw boulders. Don't you dare. I'm like, first of all, I didn't even know tzek was a swearing thing. I thought this was quite fun. I say it quite often, right? So I'm just like, whoa, listen here, because you are connected to me on social media, don't you dare think you know me or that you even have a right to speak to me like that. But the point is that we are so quick to take our own baggage and dump it on somebody else's lap. Okay, so let's check our own baggage and see how we're going about dumping it on the next person's lap. And I think that, you know, it is so important that we make it a way of life, that we do the things that matter for us. So I am putting out a challenge today, and I'm saying, do something for yourself, only for yourself, that makes you the happiest. Do it every day. It doesn't have to be the whole day. Just take that 15 minutes that if sitting out in nature and looking at trees is your thing, do that. If just having some quiet time with yourself, go for that walk by yourself. And I know that the natural reaction for us women is to say, I really love my family, so I'm going to do something for them. No, you already do that every day. You are everything to everyone. So just maybe pick something that is just all about you and has nothing to do with anybody else. If it's a book, if it's just drinking your cup of tea in a quiet space, whatever is your thing, do that. If it's writing poetry, like I think it was Tabitha, if it's writing, if it's do that. And in fact, I think we should learn as women to start writing a lot about our feelings and put them on paper. Not for someone else to read, but for you to engage with them. And Lungile, one of the psychologists I brought on Bosley Stage, said that, you know, then you can start to engage with your thoughts when you've removed them from the emotion. So please promise me you are going to make it a way of life to do at least something, one thing a day that brings you great joy. Thank you. I appreciate that. And Lerato, I think I was supposed to come to you, ne? Please,
No worries at all, Amanda.
I forgot because your hand was, I didn't see your virtual hand. I apologize. So yeah, and stop working so much, ladies. Guys, it's not cute to burn out, ne? It's not cute. There's nothing that is cuter, that is cute in that. There's something really special about somebody who knows when to work and when to play. So let's not blur the boundaries. And it is so important because even when you don't have children, what business have you got giving so much of yourself to work? When you have hobbies, when you could be doing something else with your life, when you could actually just be spending that time with yourself. So I will never glorify overworking. I'll 100% tell you it was through hard work to get where I am, but I also learned some lessons along the way that I will never repeat. There is no way in my life, and people always say there's no way in hell. I'm thinking there's no way in heaven that I will work 13 hours a day ever again in my life. I did that in corporate. It cost me dearly. It almost cost me my health. I wasn't there for my children, and I was no different from my own parents. So I just think we need to be so clear about what it is that we're trying to change for the next generation, and be tuned into that and zone into that. If you've come from a family where your mother was so financially dependent on your father that even the horrible things that used to happen to her, she wouldn't leave, your generational obligation is to change that. Don't think that working 14 hours a day is going to change that. It won't. It will simply burn you out, and then you won't be good to no other generation. So it's so important that we make sure that we don't overextend ourselves. And you know, as women, because we always want to be seen as the team player, people keep piling stuff on you, and you're like, oh yes, okay, I'll help you, whilst they go and have soup with their families. Come on, you know, just protect your own space, and politely decline things that seek to rip you of your own time and space. I'm not saying don't help others. I'm just saying be careful what you keep taking on, and why you keep doing that, because that's so important. Why do you keep doing that? And believe me, you taking on more because you're scared to lose your job is not going to stop you from getting fired or retrenched. Let's just be clear about that. People are just going to keep abusing and using you because you are the person that's always ready and willing to. And I think we need to deal with these harsh truths. We need to deal with the fact that as women, we're constantly overextending ourselves and wanting to feel needed all the time. And no, if you're gonna get retrenched or you're gonna get fired for whatever reason, you overextending yourself is not gonna change that picture. And you know, let's stop allowing ourselves to be bullied in the workplace. You know, I think of so many instances where I had a colleague put their arm around my waist, but then, you know, when it drops just below, you know, when you just like, hi man, you just crossed the line, you know, you know that line. But
we all know that line,
right? And you're like, but the problem is that in the moment you are so violated and so mad and so confused that you're like, okay, what just happened? And remember, we come from places that say, no, you're overreacting. No, it probably was just an innocent thing. No, don't let yourself. The moment you feel violated, you have been violated. So deal with it. Be it a word that was spoken, be it a line that was crossed. Because if we don't deal with it, it will continue every single day. And sometimes it is at the cost of your own security. But the truth is that we need to choose how we use our voice. And I don't actually ever judge any woman that chooses to do otherwise, because you don't know what drives people. You don't know why. But I actually only ever hope that fear is not what drives us every day, that someday we will find our voice. And I think we all have a space in life. We all have our voice to use for whatever we choose is the fight we're going to take on. But I do hope that no one ever makes your life a living hell and you don't do anything about it, because you are giving them the upper hand, and you constantly then telling yourself that you are not worthy of a good experience, and that's not okay. So I don't want to preach too much, but I think I'll keep going. Develop clear boundaries, okay? So boundaries are everything. As uncomfortable as boundaries are, you need them, because without them, people will just keep climbing over your wall and they'll keep doing whatever they want. So develop clear boundaries, even if the boundaries are against your own family, because you can't keep giving to others when you even have nothing. I'll tell you, one of the boundaries I had to develop was constantly giving money to my family. I'm not talking about my children and my immediate family. I'm talking about extended family, brother, sister, mother, you name them. I got to a point where I was trying so hard to be the good daughter that I ended up in serious debt. You know, trying so hard to be the good daughter, the good sister, the good, you name it. You put yourself in really difficult positions for people who keep receiving free money and they never have a need to work for anything. So we're constantly perpetuating a cycle of dependency by overextending ourselves. Now, I'm not saying don't do it. If you want to do it, do it. I'm just saying where it becomes detrimental to your own well-being and your own financial well-being. Remember, women remain at the bottom of the food chain because we're constantly overextending ourselves and because opportunities for us have been very limited. So we have to be so wise about our scarce resources and how we use them. Use them for what matters. If you feel it is up to you and you are able to and you want to do that, look after other people. But it should never be at your own cost. And I learned that the hard way. And you have to start developing boundaries because we're so quick to just want to be loved and liked by our families that we try to buy their love. And the truth is that I don't think any child ever has to buy anyone's love, anybody. We should never have to buy your family's love. And it's about protecting what is rightfully yours and what you've worked for and those boundaries. Help where you need to help. So I'll tell you, my mother will never go to bed hungry, but I don't then pander to every single request that I feel is unfair and unjust because I've been down that road before. And I don't mind being seen as the bad guy because you know what, people are always going to see you as the bad guy if you start to stand up against their unreasonable requests. So it's not just about money, it is about your energy. It is about what you listen to. It's about what you get pulled into, what you get involved with. And I'm just saying that we're never going to realize emancipation of women if we do not start to have seriously concrete boundaries around what matters. And economic freedom is one of those things. You will never have economic freedom if you continuously get yourself into debt just to make other people feel comfortable, just for other people to like you and for you to be seen as the good daughter, the good sibling. So it's so important to develop and find what those boundaries are for you. Sorry, I keep trying to mute this person. Okay, there we go. All right, so I do think that, you know, out of everything I've said in life, ultimately resilience is the name of the game. I don't think it is strength. I think it is resilience. And resilience is not just your ability to bounce back from hard times. Resilience is also your capacity to adapt when things are changing. So it's not just, you know, no, I'm good, I'll bounce back, I've had hard times. No, it's how do you maneuver the contours of your life? How do you keep going even when it's the hardest thing to do? And how do you keep going no matter the season? Because there's one thing that we know for a fact in life, and I know it, I don't know if you do, but seasons do change. And that's the one thing I've always hung on to in my life, is that it might be winter today, spring is sure coming without a shadow of doubt. The winters might feel really long, but actually they're not that long. Spring is going to come, summer is going to come. Every season brings forth its own opportunities and its own challenges. And nothing is actually permanent in life. I think what I mean by that is no experience is permanent in life. So you might be going through a hard time. It's not going to last. You might be killing it. You might be like creaming, you know, life, eating it with a fork and a knife. It doesn't mean that challenges are not going to come. So we have got to be present in every single moment. Every single moment is a gift to learn something about ourselves, to grow better every day, to learn what we need to learn to give more to our ecosystem or whatever we've been called for. So I really think that, you know, our ability to adapt in changing circumstances is one of those hardest things, but it is something that we have got to really enable. So I'm not all about, you know, strength and things. I'm about resilience. And resilience doesn't say I don't go through hard times. And I told you, my best friend is fighting for her life, but I'm here, I'm connected, I'm tuned in with you because I know that this is also just as important. And in fact, she would tell me, she would be the first person to tell me, don't you dare not, you know? So I think though, if we keep allowing ourselves not to live because times are hard, then we're going to have a serious problem because times are always going to be hard. And if we keep living in a moment of euphoria because we are killing it, then we have a problem, because that will change at some point, because seasons do change. So what we need to be having is that muscle to adapt to every single season. Keep our head down when it's tough, and learn the lessons we need to learn, and then rise up when it's time to kill it. And we must just know that life brings both. You know, I don't know, maybe you were promised that your life will be rosy. Mine, I never got that promise. So I take what comes, and I try and adapt as best as I can. And I think we must choose to change our narrative, because this is so important. Whatever we were brought up with, we take what works for us and what we will be able to transfer to the next generation. And to be honest, all of the other things that we like, I don't think so. We must just leave that. So let's not be so fixated on things. And by the way, things like, you know, people like to hold on to things like it's culture, it's our ways of doing things. No, it's not. Things change all the time. If people change, why do you think cultures don't change? If people evolve, why do you think that things stay the same? They don't. They just evolve to the time that you're dealing with. You know, everything is about evolution. So choose what you want to keep transferring on to the next generation. And I hope that whatever you choose is something that will enable their lives, and that they will see the use in it as well. Because also whatever we do now, they also have their choices. They also have the right to decide what works for them and what doesn't work for them. And what I hope is that above everything else, we've enabled them with the conviction that their voice matters and that they matter. And whatever they do, they must keep going that way. And I want to say, you know, I mentioned earlier, the best way to deal with your fears is to confront them. Women suffer so much from feeling inadequate. And you know the word imposter syndrome. But the point is that if you're constantly holding yourself back because you feel inadequate, you are essentially saying somebody else has the right to live a great life and grab opportunities, and you don't. And you need to understand why you're doing that. So I really think that you need to know you are enough. You are adequate. Your voice matters. We all have things we need to learn. We don't all wake up and we're experts at things every day, including men, by the way. No one wakes up and they're experts at everything. They just have a better way of winging it than we do. But you know, we gotta learn that it's actually okay to wing it too, until we feel comfortable, until we get to a point where we're like, actually, I've learned what I've had to learn. But don't discount yourself right up front and say, because I'm a woman, or I don't feel I'm good enough, I'm not ready. Oh no, I shouldn't. No. And I really think you should reflect back on why you're holding yourself back, if you are, and learn what you need to learn, and focus on what you're great at. I really think that we underestimate what we bring to the table because we're constantly focusing on what we are not bringing to the table. So if you keep focusing on what you're not bringing to the table, you lose sight of why you're actually at that table. You lose sight of the things that you are bringing to the table. And you are at the table because of the things you bring to the table, not because of the things you're not bringing to the table. So it's a vicious cycle when you start to think about, oh, I'm inadequate, I'm not good enough, because then you're eroding even the good things that you do bring to the table. So if there's anything, please be so conscious of what you are great at, what you bring to the table. And there's a reason why there's all of us at the table. We all have different strengths. You know, imagine if we're all just one vanilla color and all one way of doing things. Oh, I don't know. That's not very exciting to me. But let's be mindful of our thoughts. So let's be mindful of what we think of ourselves, because you can't change your life if your opinion of yourself hasn't changed. If your opinion of who you are and what you deserve hasn't changed, your life is not going to change. So just being mindful of our thoughts is so important. How we show up, and just being conscious of how we show up for ourselves mainly. And I really believe that as women, we can have it all. We do have it all. Some of us are living example that you can have it all, you know. But the truth of the matter is that you can't always do it all. You cannot do it all. So understand that you can be it all, You can have it all, but you can't do it all. So when do you call on what, on who to support you with your vision? And in fact, I just think it's okay. Let's glamorize that we can have it all. We can be so hot, beautiful, raising, stable children, at least doing our best, and we can be killing it in our jobs, and we can be killing it in having fun with ourselves. Why not? I mean, we do these things every day. And the problem is that even the ones who do them every day are too shy to say, yeah, no, man, I've got it on. They're too shy to say that because no, you should never say that. People bazok lawyer, witchcraft. Yo, don't tell people you're having a good life. Oh no, they're gonna be jealous of you. So all of these things we were raised with that say minimize your successes, and people must see you as poor and really unhappy, because then they'll be happy because you are taking part in that misery part. And no. We need to be living examples for our next children, for the ones looking up to us. And we cannot be an example if we keep lying. Even when you have your things figured out, you constantly have to lie that, hey, yeah, we keep trying, but it's tough. No, just say it. I mean, I'm one of those people, if I'm spending time with you, the first thing I ask is, are you making money? Are you having a good time? Are you happy? How's your family? How are you feeling? I'm that person. Literally, some people find it incredibly uncomfortable, but the people I hang out with, they're so used to it. They're just like, yeah, I'm killing it. Yo. Or somebody will be like, yo, no, it's hard this time. Then I know when they're saying it's hard, I believe them because it's hard. But if you're going to say it's hard, even when it's not hard, personally, I think you're spitting in God's face, honestly. And if that is emotional blackmail that will work on you, I hope you take it. Don't say things are not fine then when they are fine. If your family is happy, your children are healthy, you are in a good space mentally, and you are doing your best, say it to whoever needs to hear it. It is not boasting. It is not thinking you are better than somebody else, but also say it when you are really having a tough time. Because that is how we connect to people. We don't connect to perfection. We connect to human, because we are human. We don't want someone that's constantly killing it. My friends know. I'll be like, yo, guys, the world is falling apart. But you know what? I'm here. And I'll keep going, right? So I think we must be so mindful of what we tell our minds and our bodies, and how we give gratitude to what we have. And if times are tough, times are tough. And people will actually feel that, and they'll reach out to help you. But if we're now, even when you are killing it, you say times are tough, and then you're rocking up in a Porsche, and people are like, how? You said times are tough. So now what kind of tough are your times? So I really think that, it's okay to celebrate our successes, whatever those successes are. It's okay to celebrate our gifts. It's okay to celebrate those moments when we're like, yo, but this is only God. It can only be God, because there's no way I could have done this. It's okay. And they don't have to be loud. They can just be private moments. It doesn't have to be shouted out up in mountains. You do you. And let's not fall victims to our circumstances. And I really think it's important to recognize the signs. When you're not okay, recognize those signs and don't let it fester for too long. And I mean, I had a great conversation with Momo and White, who's still here, and on Vastly Sage, the talk show. And we really shared about some of these things that we carry as women. And the pressures, and not asking for help because you don't know what kind of help you need. The truth is that the moment you feel that you are not okay, please tell somebody. Say that I am not okay. Don't try and do it all yourself. Don't try and brave through those feelings, and engage with those emotions and tell somebody that, you know what, I'm actually not feeling okay. And when you're not feeling okay. No one can tell you that. But don't brave it. Don't try to be the strong one. We've agreed today that strength is actually not cute. Like we're not striving for strength. We're striving for vulnerability, to make sure we are striving to have our support structures be the strongest in the moments when we need them the most, because we will be that to them too. There'll be times when we have to be strong for others, but let's let other people be there for us, even when we don't know what kind of help we need. And I want to close by saying that, you know, your inner voice is one of the most powerful things. And I don't know how people live their lives without listening to that voice. Because for me, that is the guiding star. That is, if you believe in ancestors, I really believe those are your ancestors talking to you. If you believe in angels, I really believe that's how they talk to you. If you believe in God, that's how they talk to you. And if you're not listening, I don't know. That's how you talk to yourself. So if you're not listening, it's going to be a really hard road. But be kind to yourself, embrace yourself, show that compassion that you so rightfully show to others, show it to yourself. Give yourself that hug every day. And I just want you to know that you are not alone. In whatever you are going through, I want you to know that you're not alone. There are people who are going through the most just as much, which means we must reach out to each other, which means we must be kind to each other, which means we must actually take that moment to check in with the people that you care about, even when you are not feeling the best. Because chances are the moment you talk to somebody else, you might come out of that phone call being the one that's actually, you know, saved or helped. So I hope that today, you know, you can reflect on what it is, and as we've done, and just take all of it in, because wow, we do so much, guys. We should be celebrated every day, but not by other people, but by ourselves, you know. And let's drop the judgment. Like, honestly, I don't know who died and made us judge of other women. Honestly, seriously, it's not cute. Let's not do that. If a woman is doing her best, a woman is doing her best. And it may not look like what you believe it is, but let's just not judge. You know, let's just be kind and embracing and loving of each other. Because if we don't do it to ourselves, we're teaching the next generation that they should be catty with each other. And I just don't think that's what we want to pass on. So thank you so much for your time. I do have whoever wants to close. Namande, are you good, my love? I know she doesn't want to speak at all today.
Hi, I'm well. This has been such a lovely and fulfilling session. It's just been such a privilege to spend my day with everybody. You're right. I had no intentions of speaking. I was just taking it all in. But you know, like as you've been speaking, I've just been, you know, like as all of you have been speaking, I've just taken away so many gems. And as you've been closing and wrapping now, I think the one thing that came out was, you know, support is absolutely everything. And I think it's so important that we always show up with kindness, because you just said something so profound that if a woman is trying, they're trying. It may not look like how you're trying looks like, but the mere fact that she got up that morning, because we don't know the struggles that people are going through. And I think earlier we spoke about entrepreneurship. I think there was aspects of entrepreneurship that came up. And it's entrepreneurship for survival. If someone is on the street selling vegetables because they're trying to feed their kids, that's powerful in and of itself, and we should show, you know, support to that. So there's different layers and levels to this life thing. And I think we take it for granted that a lot of women actually belong to the informal sector, which is really about survival. And I think everyone who's online here today, we sit in a position of privilege because we have data to be on this call. There are women who are struggling for survival, women struggling to feed their kids. And those are people we should be holding very high up in prayer and hoping, you know, for a better circumstance, a better tomorrow. So I think what you've all said, specifically what you said now, is so profound. There's so much work to do, so much work to do. And each of us can show up in a beautiful and powerful way to help. So I love you, Deep, and this has been so special. It was so lovely hanging out with you guys.
I love you, Noms. So much work to still be done, but look how far we've come, yo. And we are gonna keep going, and that's for a fact. So thank you so much, everybody. Thank you, Noms. I appreciate you tuning in. I think we can close out this session with one song. You choose. We have 2 left. I think Mafigizol, and we can do that dance. What's that thing called that people do at weddings? What's that dance, man?
The line dance. That's what.
What's it called?
Quick step.
Pass.
Yeah, pass stop.
Well, I'll take this one.
Pass.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, pass stop.
I do it very well. I just don't know what it's called. So if you don't mind, before we close, okay. Before we close, can we, if you feel comfortable, can we unmute ourselves and have a big Happy Women's Day? And I'm gonna do a little recording, so don't think I'm spying on you. I've asked for permission. So on 3, okay? So if you can unmute yourself, it's okay. Dogs, kids, cats, it's okay. So 1, 2, 3. Happy Women's Day, everybody.
Happy Women's Day.
Happy Women's Day.
Thank you.
Thank you
Happy
so
Women's
much.
Day, Auntie. Happy Women's Day, Auntie.
Happy Women's Day, baby.
My son woke up this morning and said, "Happy Mother's Day, Mama."
So sweet.
So there we go. Can you hear that?
Yes.
Oh.
Bye, guys.
Oh, wow. Thank you so much. Don't forget hashtag Women's Day with Amanda. Hashtag Vassal. Now, post what you do, what support you need. Go for it. Thank you so much. Thank you to our people watching on YouTube. Goodbye, everybody. Cheers. Happy Women's Day. Goodbye.
Bye.
Bye, everyone. Bye, Queen.
Happy Women's Day.
Bye, everybody. Thanks, Amanda.
I'll just wait here and be the last one to leave.
If you stay, then we'll all stay.
I need to leave so that everyone leaves. Thank you, everyone.
Bye, Amanda. Thank you, Amanda.
Thank
Much
you.
love. My pleasure. Bye.